What's up, legends? Roachsaurus here with another video. This one is pertaining to this just became the most anticipated extraction shooter of 2023. Have no idea what it's about. Let's take a look and see if this is going to be any good. Let's go!
This is a big deal. Ark Raiders, the highly anticipated free-to-play cooperative third-person shooter set for release on both console and PC, being developed by Embark, the studio behind the upcoming arena shooter, The Finals, and Battlefield 1, 3, and 4, literally the best games from that franchise. Changed my mind.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
Just revealed that they've decided to convert Ark Raiders into a PvPvE survival extraction shooter. And I could not be more excited with what they just leaked about this new direction. So sit back, grab a piece of coffee, restock your hand
a piece of coffee
with a bologna sandwich or maybe a fajita. We're gonna break it all down. In a blog post from yesterday, executive producer of Embark, Alex, filled us in as to what changes are being made to the game, what we can expect when we drop in for the first time, and when that will be. Last spring, Embark made the decision to move the release of Ark Raiders to 2023, likely because that's when they shifted focus from the originally planned co-op PvE only experience to the PvPvE survival extraction shooter that we're getting now. Additionally, they wanted to really put all efforts into releasing their first game, The Finals, which just happened.
And I cannot wait for Finals to come out, man. I'm so pumped for it.
It was beta a while back, and it was actually a very unique, impressive take on arena shooters.
It's gonna be fun.
What this dev team is capable of, and showing off their skills that they obtained while working on Battlefield titles, with innovative character classes, engaging gunplay, and of course,
now given the Finals doesn't reinvent the wheel or anything here, but what it did do right was it added brand new components or nuances to the genre arena shooter, which is what we want. It's what we love to see.
A destructible environment, allowing you to level entire buildings in an arena shooter. The Finals really gives me faith that Embark can blow us away with their next game, especially with what the executive producer just said about this new version of Ark Raiders. Ark Raiders drops players into a lethal but stunningly beautiful future Earth where hair-raising moments of survival and suspense, human versus machine, human versus human, together or alone, and you versus the sometimes conflicting nature of your own humanity, all in the spectacular backdrop of a landscape littered with the haunting remains of the past. People have fled to the underground colony of Speranza, seeking supplies to survive and shelter from the machines. Sound familiar?
This is Zion!
Kind of reminds me of Generation Zero too, if you guys have ever played that. That's what that whole game was about, was just destroying machines.
Demand for resources is at an all-time high, but getting those resources is a risky job. That's why the player is enlisted as a raider, scavenging for vital supplies that are scattered across the landscape, everything from leftovers from yesterday's run-in with Ark to the unlikely remains of a pinball machine. Out there, the stakes are high, and you'll have to fight for your loot. Lethal Ark machines roam the surface, and there are no rules in Calabretta, so beware of other raiders. With the traders in Speranza, trust is hard-earned and easily lost. You need to earn your keep, so don't come back from a quest empty-handed. When you see another raider chased by a swarm of Ark drones, do you go in for the kill? Do you lend a helping hand, or do you hold back and feast on the valuable remains? With that excerpt alone, there is already so much to go on here. So if you saw my last video, first off, welcome back. You're obviously a highly intelligent mecha being, but we discussed what it would take to make the perfect extraction looter shooter, a game that could rival the likes of Escape from Tarkov and Call of Duty's DMZ, not just in engaging gameplay aspects, but in popularity as well. An entire section of that video I intentionally dedicated to an out-of-match player hub, where after you complete a raid, you'll be returned back to for turning in quests, buying and selling loot to traders, making upgrades for your weapons, gear, and your character, and then resupplying before your next drop. I think from what Embark stated about the underground colony Speranza, that is exactly what this will be.
That's nice. I mean, it pretty much sounds like what's already out, right? As far as the extraction looter shooter genre goes, but I'm sure there's more, like, there's more nuances you could make on top of that to make it more interesting and maybe even more difficult.
Colony will definitely have traders, and it's safe to assume that there'll be some type of faction reputation system. As they said with the traders in Speranza, trust is hard-earned and easily lost. Don't come back from a quest empty-handed. I'm hoping that means what I think it means. A damageable reputation system.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. A reputation system, kind of like in GTA.
Or if you, like they said, accept a quest and then fail.
Or is it Saints Row? I can't remember. It might be in both. Who knows?
In the raid, your reputation with that faction will go down and will then have to be regained. Or maybe if you complete objectives for other factions, it'll cause the others to have resentments towards you, further damaging your rep with those factions. This to me is a great game mechanic because it offers replayability, making faction reputation gain an ongoing project rather than just something you can power level and complete within a week. I'm also very intrigued about the statement made about the loot you can find on the map. Everything from leftovers from yesterday's run-in with Ark to the unlikely remains of a pinball machine sounds an awful lot to me like item persistence and map persistence, meaning if you died in your last raid, you have the opportunity to drop back in and reclaim your gear before somebody
That would be
else
cool.
grabs it.
That's something I've always wanted from an extraction looter shooter from the time I started playing them, is the ability to jump back in if you haven't been scavenged already from your dead body and recover your lost loot.
That can be a pretty tricky system to develop properly, so I look forward to seeing how they're going to run with it. Additionally, with the remains of the pinball machine bit, there could be some form of crafting where you obtain scrap materials from different types of objects around the map to extract, bring back to the colony, and use to craft weapon mods, new equipment, like the grappling hook thing that we see in the gameplay trailer, or maybe to upgrade certain sections of the colony to benefit your character over time.
Like
with
Division.
Ark Raiders as a PvPvE survival extraction shooter, I'm gonna assume that we can expect some survival elements as well. Maybe simple things like hunger and thirst to keep your character from losing stamina and losing health, or potentially environmental effects like heat and cold. With it already looking like they have a day and night system from the trailer, maybe depending on the time, you'll require different clothes to wear. Keep your character cool or warm. It's hard to tell based off of the limited game.
This still looks pretty neat.
What exactly a match will look like, especially when this trailer
We'll have
is
to give
from
it a
before
shot.
they made the change to the extraction shooter. The concept seems very unique with these massive machines roaming around while you're trying to loot and survive encounters with other players. Taking down the Ark AI seems like group effort is necessary while one player's blowing off the legs while others grapple to damage it from the top. But again, this footage is from when the game was strictly PvE. So at some point they're gonna have to give us some updated visuals to look at. I'm also not a big fan of third person, like at all, especially in games when PvP is involved. But it's not.
I can go either way on PV or a third person, honestly. It don't really matter to me as long as the game's good.
Not a deal breaker for me either. It worked out for the Division, and with Heartland also nearing release, I think there will definitely be a market for it. Now, with the free-to-play model, they're likely going to be going with a seasonal approach, which comes with, of course,
Battle Pass, microtransactions. Hey, you gotta make money somehow, that's what I always say. And if they're giving this out for free, that's just how it works, man.
Honestly, I'd love for a game to just do two things when it comes to microtransactions that are probably just pipe dreams. One, just keep the purchasable cosmetics relevant to the damn world. I would hope that Embark is conscious of this one, as they just embarked from DICE prior to the dumpster fire launch of Battlefield 2042. Like, I don't want Santa Claus outfits for a Special Forces operator. Keep the cosmetics derelict post-apocalyptic attire that makes sense within the setting of Ark Raiders.
Right.
I'd be a lot
I agree
more
with
likely
that.
to buy that just to support a game that I like, rather than goofy dance emotes.
It depends on the game.
Two, make
I
them
love goofy
grindable.
dance emotes in
Of course,
Fortnite.
with a free-to-play model, they have to make money somehow.
They're
I
great
understand.
content.
But can the digital currency that's required to buy some of these cosmetic items be semi-attainable by long hours put into the gameplay? I don't care if it's extremely tasking to achieve. Make it a possibility for the dedicated player base to obtain, if they put the work in. Personally, I'd rather see the free-to-play model reworked entirely. I've had an idea recently that I think works perfectly with an extraction shooter game, but I'm
Okay.
sure that some of you knuckleheads are going to find it controversial. Most titles in this genre have a matchmaking period. for loading into a raid. It can last anywhere from like 30 seconds to, in some cases, like 5 minutes. Looking at you, Nikita. Can we not just scrap the silly free-to-play microtransactions for maybe an ad period while we wait? Similar to what they do with mobile games, except by placing it in the loading screen, it's non-invasive. I'm positive they could make a significant amount of money of ad revenue if the player base for the game was large enough. And if we're just sitting there looking at a loading,
I don't really want to do that, to be honest. I hate ads. And I don't know, I don't really feel like I would want to look at an ad inside a video game. Remember back when they started pushing ads on DVDs and VHS tapes? That was terrible. I hated that. I definitely don't want to see it in a game.
screen.
Yeah, because, I mean, look at it this way. You're already getting ads from whatever platform you're watching your favorite streamer on, right? Twitch, YouTube. I don't know about Kick. But you're already getting those ads, and now you got to see more ads inside of a video game. Come on, man.
Personally, I would easily accept a 45-second ad prior to being dropped into a match, just so the devs can make their money without force-feeding me microtransactions. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Now, if you want the opportunity to hop into Ark Raiders early, along with the switch of genre, they've also announced they're going to be doing a closed alpha test that will only be accepting a certain number
we'll
of
have to get our hands on that.
Request access to the first test. If you want to request access, the first test will exclusively be taking place on Steam, even though this game is going to be cross-platform. And unfortunately, it is going to be under NDA, so even though I'm 100% going to be on it, I will not be able to stream it here for you guys. So I left a link to their Steam page in this video's description. But Embark making this change to the genre of their game specifically right now just further fuels the rising trend of the extraction looter shooter.
Absolutely.
Sure if Ark Raiders is going to be the messiah of this genre, but it's sounding like a pretty damn good game with a great studio behind it. And I will always support that on this channel and promote it to our community. If that tickles your little pickle, consider subscribing to stay in the know. Then check out what I think it's going to take to make the perfect extraction looter shooter. Timestamped into easy to follow sections for your convenience, baby. See you there.
Yeah, like I said, guys, extraction looter shooters are definitely on the rise at this point. We're seeing a lot more of them come out. We're seeing a lot more of them in production, and it's only a matter of time before it becomes the next PR. Let me know down in the comments your favorite extraction looter shooter that you are ready to play or see come out or have already released. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Hey guys, if you liked the video, make sure you head over to the page, hit that like button, scroll over, smash that subscribe, and hit that bell icon to get notified for future video drops, and I will see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.